All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Fix a Leak Week virtual workshop. My name is Ryan Perlman, and I am a community liaison for the City of Houston Public Works, Houston Water. This event is brought to you by the City of Houston, Dallas Water Utilities, and Fort Worth Water, along with the expert speakers that have agreed to present today and Thursday. These speakers will provide you with great do-it-yourself lessons on indoor and outdoor leak repair. You guys are in for a treat. This virtual workshop is a two-part series beginning today and resuming this Thursday, March 18th, 2021. We hope you can join us for both days of this program. Today we have 4 speakers discussing indoor leaks and leak repair. Before we introduce our first speaker, I want to answer a question I received earlier today. Why is Fix a Leak Week important? Well, let's talk about the numbers. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that over 1 trillion gallons of water is lost due to household leaks in the year 2020, and that's a nationwide number. This water loss can be very costly for residents and cities alike. These costs cover the production, treatment, and distribution of water from its source to your tap. When I say produce, I mean water is taken from a well or surface water source and is pumped into the water purification plant where it goes through coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, and chlorination. Samples of the water are constantly taken and over 200 tests are done on each sample. Testing for contaminants like lead, arsenic, microorganisms are performed, as well as waterborne illnesses like Legionnaires. Once the water passes all of the testing, it's then sent to the distribution system where it eventually makes its way to your home. If you have leaks at your home, your bill is most likely more expensive, and collectively, with the many leaks we have in our cities, they increase the overall water demand for the water purification plants. When you repair your home leaks, you not only save money in your water bill, but you also help reduce the water demand, which helps us keep water production costs low, and it conserves water for future generations to come. Most recently here in Texas, we went through one of the worst winter storms in history when the storm Uri hit us the week of February 15th. Millions of Texans lost power and water and had pipes burst in their homes, increasing the number of gallons of water lost at the individual and city level. This workshop intends to empower you with as much information as possible to fix simple leaks yourself. As I mentioned today, we will focus on indoor leak repair, and Thursday morning, we'll focus on outdoor leak repair with a special presentation on cold weather pipe protection so that you can be prepared for any future winter storm that we hope we don't have to experience anytime soon. Thank you again for attending, and we hope you enjoy the speakers. Make sure you stay tuned until the end for information on how you can qualify for a very special water conservation giveaway. You don't want to miss out on that. Our first speaker is Beth Livingston. Beth Livingston is a brand manager for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, WaterSense program. She oversees the partner and consumer marketing for the WaterSense program. Beth is responsible for the WaterSense program's outreach as well as supporting the marketing goals for the homes and outdoor program areas. She also oversees the WaterSense Awards program. Prior to joining the EPA, Ms. Livingston worked for the United States Postal Service, where she was responsible for a number of marketing and communication initiatives. Beth has a background in advertising, working for local and national advertising firms and corporate marketing firms such as DHL and Nucor, now Assurion. Ms. Livingston earned her project management certification through PMI and holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Florida State University. She is joining us from the Northeast and will discuss the EPA WaterSense program. Fix the Leak Week is a WaterSense event, and we are honored today to have Beth tell us more about the importance of Fix the Leak Week and how WaterSense can help us all conserve water. So, take it away, Beth.
Ryan, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey guys, good morning and welcome. I'm excited to talk to you today about WaterSense and Fix a Leak Week. Some of you may know WaterSense, some of you may not. WaterSense is part of the EPA's mission to protect human health and the environment. And WaterSense is what we call a partnership program. It's a voluntary program that businesses, manufacturers, other utilities, among retailers also come together to provide a choice to live more water efficient and help the environment. You probably have heard of the sister program here at EPA, Energy Star. They focus on saving energy, and we focus on water efficiency. I will talk to you today about what is exactly WaterSense, and then how WaterSense has tools to help you look for easy to find leaks in and around your house, and some easy fixes you can do on your own. Next slide, please. WaterSense was created by the EPA in 2006. We are helping to transform the marketplace for water efficient plumbing fixtures, irrigation products, certification programs, and new homes. WaterSense is both a label for consumers to easily identify these water efficient products, and we're also a resource for helping you save water at home. The WaterSense label makes it simple to find these water efficient products, new homes, and programs that meet EPA's criteria for efficiency and performance. All products are independently tested by an approved independent third party certification process. These certifying bodies make sure that the WaterSense labeled products and services are certified to use at least 20% less water and perform as well as or better than regular models. We partner with manufacturers, retailers, distributors, home builders, irrigation professionals, and again, utilities to bring WaterSense to your community. Our partnerships encourage innovation in manufacturing and support sustainable jobs for American workers. And WaterSense also promotes a lifestyle that shows you can save water without sacrificing comfort and or quality. So as you can tell here, these are the products that manufacturers create that are labeled for WaterSense. These are manufacturers like Delta, Kohler, American Standard. Back of the other slide. There we go, perfect. Just to name a few. We have created and produced over 36,000 labeled product models that have actually earned the label. Remember, these are all independently certified to meet EPA's efficiency and performance. Under the plumbing products we see for the home, we have the toilets, shower heads, and bathroom faucets. For outdoor irrigation, we have two types of irrigation controllers, weather-based or soil moisture sensors. The weather-based is like a thermometer. It takes the weather from around and won't water if it's rain coming. And the soil moisture sensor is in the ground, and if the ground's already saturated, it's not going to water. And then we have sprinkler bodies, and these help make sure that the water sprays evenly across your lawn, and those are manufacturers like Hunter, Rainbird, and Rachio. Next slide, please. So WaterSense doesn't just label products. We also review professional certification programs for landscape irrigation system designers, auditors, and installation and maintenance professionals that promote water-saving technologies and techniques. These professionals can help you create your better yard and can advise on irrigation controllers, install these spray sprinkler bodies as well. More than 3,000 individuals have been certified by a WaterSense labeled program. And they can help you redo your landscape when you're ready. All right, next slide. I bet most of you don't really think about how much water you use at home like you think about electricity. You can see the electricity usually, you can see the wires. A lot of people don't think about the plumbing because it's underground and it's hidden. But across America, we use more than 26 billion gallons of water every day at home. And you could probably guess that over this past year, with most of us working from home and schooling from home, that water has even been higher. Before the pandemic, each American used about an average of 88 gallons of water each day at home. Again, I would bet that has increased this past year. Well, how do you use water at home? Well, unless you're in one of the drier areas of the country or have a major landscape irrigation system, you use it indoors. And you can probably guess where that is. It's the bathroom, because that's where we use about 50% of all indoor water. Home outdoor water use across the U.S. accounts for nearly 9 billion gallons of water each day, obviously for landscape irrigation, and approximately 5 to 10% of U.S. home has easy to find and fix leaks that drip away 90 gallons a day or more. Next slide, please. WaterSense has resources on our website to help you save water at home. We have a ton of tools that we've developed and tips. You just go to epa.gov/WaterSense or just type in the search bar WaterSense and you'll find our site. We can show you how you check for leaks. We have videos to help you install and exchange out items like the aerators. That's that little part of the screen on your faucet that can help you save water as well. Shower heads, and then the flapper in your toilet as well. We have easy to do water efficient practices, things like turning off the water while you brush your teeth or shave, using a shower timer, and take shorter showers instead of filling up a bathtub. Some of these bathtubs use about 50 gallons of water. And then you can scrape food into trash cans and only wash full dishes of laundry or sink dishes. So did you know by replacing a non-WaterSense faucet with a WaterSense labeled faucet or replacing that little aerator, you could save up to 700 gallons of water a year, which is equal to 45 showers. Next slide. So WaterSense was created because we do want to be cognizant of the water we use. While we know that there's water, when you look around, 70% of the Earth's surface is water, but only 1% of that water is available for our use and our consumption. And even though it, like I said, is plentiful, it's a finite resource that we need to protect and save for future generations. Most of it is salt water or it's permanently frozen and we can't drink it. We can't wash with it, we can't use it to water plants. And as the population grows, more and more people are using this limited resource. And therefore, it is important that we use our water wisely and not waste it. Don't forget, we can't make water. We can make energy, but the water we have is the water we've got. By saving this energy and water, you cut down on your utility bills as well, both energy and water, because saving water saves the energy used to heat, treat, and deliver that water to your house. And during droughts or other water supply concerns, there always isn't enough to go around in your neighborhood. Next slide, please. WaterSense also has a label for homes. So when you're ready to purchase a new home, look for the WaterSense label. Builders have partnered with WaterSense to provide homes that are 30% more water efficient than typical construction in your area. So these homes are certified to save water, have installed WaterSense labeled plumbing products like the shower heads, toilets, and faucets, and will also save you money on your utility bills. These homes are free of visible leaks and will provide you the peace of mind and comfort you'd expect from new construction. Perfect state, we're here. So now I've talked a little bit about what WaterSense is. If you want to find out more, you can look for a pro, you can look for a product, and we also have a great kids section and we have a rebate section as well. All these are on our website. And again, if you just go there to the website, you can find all that on the homepage or just do a search in the Google bar. Next slide. I wanted to let you know that we have all this information as well in Spanish, so you can go to the www.espanol.epa.gov/WaterSense. One more slide. Another one. There we go. Okay, perfect. And now, what you've been waiting to hear about, what is this Fix a Leak Week all about? Right, perfect. So, what is Fix a Leak? It started 13 years ago. It was developed to help homeowners find and fix easy household leaks. These leaks can attribute to almost 1 trillion gallons, as you heard earlier today. So that's water used for 11 million homes. Many homeowners don't realize they have a leak until you get your water bill. And you're like, what? I didn't see anything. And that's not the best way to find out about leaks, right? I know I'd like to find out about it sooner. So we usually hold Fix a Leak each year around the 3rd week of March. This year it's this week. It started yesterday, the 15th. We started out with a Twitter party and it will go through this 21st. It's a week again dedicated once a year to draw attention to leaks around and outside your home. You can check for leaks anytime during the year. This is just a week we focus to help you understand the importance of finding and fixing these leaks around your house. These could be done early to prevent the shock of a large water bill, like I mentioned earlier. And it's easy. We have 3 steps. Check your home for leaks. Twist is just tightening these connections at the shower head and the faucet. And replace. So if you get to the point that these fixtures just cannot be fixed, then you can go look for the WaterSense label and replace it with a WaterSense product. These products are made by all the manufacturers you know. They come in tons of different styles, different colors, different price points to suit your own budget and your own needs. And again, these can be found at your major retailers like your Home Depot and your Lowe's and any of your home goods stores. Or talk to your local plumber. There are green plumbers around and they can help you install these WaterSense labeled products as well. And don't forget to check the website to see if there might be any rebates in your area. All right, next slide, please. So I think most people would be surprised at how much water can come up from a little leak. For example, 10% of homeowners don't realize they have leaks that can waste 90 gallons or more a day. That's a leaky faucet that drips. 1 drip per second can waste more than 3,000 gallons of water in 1 year. And a shower that drips 10 drips per minute can waste more than 500 gallons of water per year. So that's why it's important to take time out and check for these leaks inside and outside your house. And I know a lot of times you probably see that shower dripping or coming from the tub, and you just don't think it adds up. But by looking at these numbers, you know, it really does add up. Next slide, please. This week, you can join other homeowners across the country and just take 10 minutes. So this is a 10-minute leak challenge. Each day, you can do something small to look for leaks in and outside your home. I mean, like you've probably been possibly in a room, right, where you hear the toilet flush, but everybody's in that same room and they're not in the bathroom. Those are what we call ghost flushes. That means that your flapper isn't sealing properly and needs to be replaced. So that's what, and then sometimes you might not hear the flushing, but there are these silent leaks that happen as well. And that's why we do this food drop color challenge. You take off the tank lid, put a couple of drops of liquid in there of the food coloring. In about 10 minutes, if it actually runs into the bowl, then you know that you have a leak. If it doesn't, you're perfect. Just remember to flush it so it doesn't stain the bowl. Right, next slide, please. So the other things you can do is check for dripping faucets in your bathrooms, in your kitchens. If you have laundry rooms or bars, you can also look for pooling water under cabinets. And then you can tighten the shower head connections also to help prevent leaks or put tape around if needed. Next slide, please. If your irrigation system is running, and you can look for broken sprinkler heads, could be damaged from the winter weather you just had, lawn mowers from people or pets tromping on things. And then the other thing you can do for 10 minutes is check your water bill. So if your water bill is more than 12,000 gallons during the winter months, then you probably have a leak somewhere. And when you head back to the office, don't forget to check for leaks in and around the office. And you can tell your building manager also that if you see anything. All right, next slide, please. And if you prefer, we have this great checklist on our website that you can download and print, and it will walk you around the house into the different areas of your home, helping you look and check for leaks. Next slide. So we have these videos that I talked about. They are around like 60 seconds, if that. It's really quick. They show you how to replace your shower head, replace that toilet flapper that we talked about, and replace your faucet aerator as well. And these are on the YouTube channel. You can look it up at that as well if you'd like. And we have a bit.ly that I've put up here on the slide that if you get a chance to write it down, if not, we can put it in the chat, and that will help you find them easily too. Next slide. So basically what we're trying to tell you that it is really easy. It can be done in 6 steps. So like for the toilet flapper, you just remember to turn off the water, you know, remove the tank top, flush it to remove the tank from the water, and then you can change the flapper by removing the pegs. If you're not sure, like a good tip is, if you don't know what type of flapper you need, is to do all this and then take the flapper with you to the store, and somebody can help you pick out the right flapper. And I think you're going to be getting a demonstration of some of this stuff later today that will get more in depth. Next slide, please. And if you decide that you want to switch out your shower head, that's easy as well. You go down to the store, pick out the price, model, and price point that you want and the color. And basically you just remove your old shower head with a wrench or pliers. Remember to clean off the thread after you remove the shower head. You can use a toothbrush or a cloth. And then you apply that white plumber's tape around that you can get at the supply store as well. Make sure you do that clockwise and then twist on your new shower head. And then a tip for this would be to put a cloth also over the new shower head where you're tightening it on, so you don't scratch any of that new material on the where it connects, because you don't want to scratch that while you're putting it on. Next slide. And now here we talked about the aerator is that little piece on the bottom of the faucet. So you want to be able to close the drain so you don't lose anything. The aerator should literally just twist off. If it's a little bit older one, you might need to get a wrench to kind of help you start getting it off. And then there's a rubber washer that should be there as well. Make sure that came off with the aerator, and then simply twist on the new one. And again, if you're not sure which one to take, I would take it to the store with you so you know that you're getting the right one for your house. Right, next slide, please. And now we also have junior detectives. So you can take your kids, get them, you know, especially if they're around the house looking for things to do. Go ahead and get them. We have these great things on our website as well, and they can go around and help you find and fix leaks and add the dye to the toilet and help you around the house. Next slide. We also have a kids game on the website. For those of you who might know a little bit of the ghosts and the old Pac-Man, that's what I'm trying to say. It's modeled after that, and when they get to different areas, it asks them questions about their water sense and helps them learn about how to save water around the house. And this game can be played many times as you want. All right, next slide. And again, saving water can be year-round. It doesn't have to be just for Fix Leak Week. Join us and take the 2021 pledge to save water all year long. And you can also sign up for our newsletter to tell you different tips throughout the year. And again, this pledge is on our website, and we have different things you can do each month that you can follow along. All right, and then I hope you found today's presentation helpful. These are all the links. It's the English site, the Spanish site. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook. There's a lot of events happening around. As you know, there are events in your area right now. And if you go to our Facebook page, we've put them on the map so you can find out what's going on in your area. So I hope everybody can get out there, be that leak detective, find those leaks in your house with your family or on your own. And I hope you have a great Fix Leak Week, and thank you so much for your time. Right?
Thank you, Beth. All right, so great information. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions? We got a cool live event question and answer section here you should see for all the attendees. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the live event question and answer section. And we got a couple of minutes to answer those questions for you guys. All right, no new questions so far. Now, Beth mentioned WaterSense labels. These are great for conserving water without having to change your quality of life. The WaterSense labeled shower heads are my favorite. They reduce the amount of water used in the shower without compromising, having a shower. So.
Yeah, so I can add to that. So one of the things that we talked about with the 20% more efficient and also for performance, all these manufacturers have found ways to use less water but provide you exactly the same shower experience you've experienced in the past. So you wouldn't notice the difference when you changed out the shower head. They've all these great technologies to get water all over you and make you feel like you're having that luxurious shower without all the water.
Yeah, I have a WaterSense shower head myself, and I don't notice any difference between the shower head I had previously, so it's really good. All right, here's the question we have for Beth. If we want to check that our current fixtures are WaterSense approved, are the fixtures labeled or just the brand?
So unfortunately, the manufacturers, because of the size of the product, especially the shower heads and the aerators, there's no place to really put a mark on that area. The only way you could tell is really from the box, unfortunately. You can check your toilet, and if you look up underneath the toilet tank lid and look at the date, usually anything like after, it's like 2009, probably is WaterSense. but some of them also show how many gallons of water they use, and that could help you determine as well, because these all use less than 1.6 gallons of water. So if you've got something that's doing like a 6-gallon flush, or is an older toilet that was manufactured in the 80s, you definitely know, because we know toilets last a long time, that it's not WaterSense.
All right. All right, I have another question. Are the flyers available to be used for water district presentations?
Oh, yes, definitely. So those of you who are partners that happen to be listening, you have access to all of these great tools that I've shown here. And also on our website, on the public website, if you go under Fix a Leak, you'll see a lot of the, like the kids stuff is there, and the checklist is there. The things that are not there are the little social media graphics on the how to replace your aerator. You can find that stuff on Twitter though, or on Facebook and share. The pledge is on our website, and the videos you can access through that the YouTube channel.
Awesome. All right. I don't think we have any more questions. Let's see. So, Beth, thank you for being here. We greatly appreciate you taking your time to share your information with us, and hopefully we can work again in the future together.
Would love to. Thank you for having us, and go find those leaks.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on. Now, our next speakers are based out of the Dallas metropolitan area. Mr. Robert Revius, Mr. Thomas Penny, and Mr. Louis Cavillo. They will be covering the presentation, Spot Toilet Leaks and Repair. Robert began working for the city of Dallas in 2013, where he worked in system services for Dallas water utilities. In 2017, he joined the city's water conservation division as a plumbing inspector for the minor plumbing repair program. Prior to coming to the city of Dallas, Robert was a manager for a local general contracting company. Robert utilizes his extensive project management experience and his knowledge of plumbing and water conservation to assist Dallas residents in becoming more efficient water consumers in their homes. Robert enjoys interacting with customers to help them resolve their plumbing issues and having the opportunity to positively impact City of Dallas residents through his work. So please help me welcome Mr. Robert Revius.
Thank you, Ryan, for that introduction. And I'll be speaking to the, as Ryan mentioned, the most common toilet leaks. And A-Star, our plumbing contractor, will be talking about the repairs on the second part of the presentation. Can we go to the first slide, please? Yes, the most common leaks. A common cause of internal toilet leak is a worn out flapper. The flapper blocks the water in the tank from entering the bowl, and if that part is worn out, it will cause water to continuously leak into your bowl. Next, please. Crack on the tank or bowl. Toilets are built to last, but cracks do sometimes develop on them over time. Oftentimes, this will start as a hairline crack that develops into something more severe. Next. Misadjusted flush valve assembly. All the things we mentioned will cause a leak on the exterior of the toilet. If the leak is in the interior of the toilet, your toilet runs constantly or makes a dripping noise. There could be a problem with the flush valve assembly. Oftentimes, this will cause water to enter the overflow valve and continuously fill up in your tank. Next. Loose or worn out seal at the base. If water is pooling up around the base of your toilet, there's a good chance that the leak is caused by a loose or worn out parts that bind your toilet to the floor, commonly known as a wax ring. Next, please. Loose or worn out tank to bowl connections. The tank and bowl in two-piece toilets are bound together by a collection of gasket nuts and bolts. If any of these parts come loose, a leak can develop at that area in the toilet. water supply line, shutoff valve, or rusted pipes. The pipes that lead to your toilet can begin to rust for any number of reasons over time. This can eventually create a crack in the pipe, which will allow water to leak around your toilet connections at water supply line or worn out gaskets or seals. Water shutoff valve can also wear out on a leak when turning the water on. And this is common, but it's condensation on your bowl. Before you assume that your toilet has a leak, you should check whether or not the water you're noticing is simply condensation. Bathrooms can get very humid, especially during and after a shower. This can cause condensation to drip on your toilet. The amount of water produced by condensation is typically small and is not an issue you need to worry about. And now I introduce Thomas Penny and Luis Cavillo for repairing common toilet leaks. Thank you.
How y'all doing, guys? Got a small display here. So I guess we're gonna start with the wax ring. So this is the toilet flange here.
Ask Ryan to stop sharing the presentation so they can get a better view.
Hey, Ryan, can you stop sharing the presentation so they can get a better view, please?
Y'all got full screen now. So I think what we see full screen now. So the presentation is stopped.
Thank you.
All right.
So we have a small display here. This is the toilet flange where the toilet sits. So once you pull the toilet, you can put the wax ring on here and then reset the toilet. That's when you have leaks around the base of the toilet, when you would do that. The wax ring sits on the bottom here. You don't want to over tighten it. If you do, it will cause the cracks in the toilet and it would damage the toilet, and you would need a new toilet at that point. Once you remove the fill valve out of the tank, you would have to shut the water off. Here on this display here, you just turn it off, the off position, and then unscrew it. And then you would take the nut off the bottom of the toilet, remove the fill valve. And it comes with a little rubber washer that you'll put on. Push it all the way to the top, set it down, and then tighten the nut on the bottom. Hand tight only. You don't want to over tighten it because it could cause cracks. And then you adjust the fill valve if needed. I'll simply move it up or down to what you need it to. Got the flapper on there. This is your flush valve. So when the flappers wear out, they're easy to change. They just pop right off and then pop right back on. But when you do this, you want to make sure that you get your thumb with the water running and clean around the rim, so you knock off any debris. And then simply hook the chain to the trip lever, and that should take care of your problem if the flappers wore out. I don't want to go with the trip lever. Yeah, bolts. So sometimes the toilets will leak at the bottom of the base of the tank to the bowl. So basically, you're just going to replace the bolt set. The gasket stays in, and you put it inside the tank, and then mount it back to the bowl, and then you put your washer with your nut and tighten it up. Kind of want to tighten just a little bit, but not, you don't want to over tighten it because you don't want to cause any cracks.
They're saying it's hard to see. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's all we have.
Yeah.
I got a few responses that was hard to see. Is there anything we need to go over real quick?
Hey, Robert, I got a question for
Okay.
Thomas and Lewis.
Okay.
How hard would this be for just one person to do? Do you need two people for a job like this, or can just one person take care of
No, one person can take care of it.
it? Excellent.
So, I mean, the hardest thing is when you have to replace the wax ring, you know, is picking that up. You just want to make sure that the water's turned off and everything's disconnected, and you at least flush the toilet to get the water out of the tank and most of the water out of the bowl. And at that point, you would get a sponge and soak up the excess water that's inside the bowl and just squeeze it off into a sink or something, and you can pull it. That way you don't get water all over the floor.
Excellent. What are some so if you tighten too hard and it could cause a crack, why is porcelain still used as the the material that toilets are made out of? Wouldn't you think that it would be like a different material or something?
They use a soft brass or a stainless steel because they don't rust as hard as any other materials do. So, and they last longer, but you need something rigid, you know, that way it doesn't snap and break off.
Excellent. Right. Well, let's see if you guys have any questions. All right, so all the attendees, this is a good time to ask questions. We're just going to keep you guys on just to see if there's any questions that you can answer for any of the viewers. All right, I have a question.
Okay.
In the toilet demo, there's a thin white tube that's inside the larger white fill tube. What happens when this thin tube is placed outside of the larger one?
Can you repeat that question again?
In the toilet demo, there's a thin white tube that's inside the larger white fill tube. What happens when this thin tube is placed outside the larger one?
At that point, then it will not allow the bowl to fill properly. Though the tube has to go inside. This one here just clips on. But the hose has got to go where the water will shoot inside of the tube. So that way it's going to fill up the bowl to the right level. So that way you don't, so when you flush the toilet in your solids or something like that, you know, you have that water flow to push it down the toilet. But if it's outside, then it's not going to fill the bowl properly.
All right, we got another question. Okay, the white pipe that has the flap, does the pipe have different sizes?
You talking about the flapper?
Well, I'm just reading the question. It says the white pipe that has the flap, does the pipe have different sizes? I'm not sure exactly what they mean on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you got you got different fill valves. You got, which is your standard fill valve, which is a 2-inch. And then there's also a 3-inch, but that's also going to determine on what size flapper that toilet uses as well. If it's a 2-inch fill valve, I'm sorry, a flush valve, then it's going to take a 2-inch flapper. But if it's a 3-inch flush valve, then it's going to take a 3-inch flapper. And determine on what brand and style of toilet you have to go back with that style, that size.
All right. Got another question.
Okay.
From what's the best way to find out if you have a bad flapper that's causing the leak?
You can actually use some food coloring and put a drop of food coloring into the water, and then the color of the water will start showing up inside the bowl, and that way you know that the water is bypassing the flapper, and you know the flapper needs to be replaced.
All right, so Sylvia from Grand Prairie, Texas asks, how long does the wax ring usually last? Does it need to be replaced periodically, even if you don't see leaks?
The wax ring probably lasts about 2 to 3 years. The only problem with the wax ring is this: as customers have stoppages, they'll get a plunger and they'll plunge it really hard and it blows out the wax ring. And at that point, then your wax ring has to be replaced. Because then water going to start showing up around the base of the toilet.
Awesome. All right. And then I think we got another question. Where can I find a variety of flappers? I have trouble finding the right size flapper.
You can find a variety at Home Depot, at Lowe's, and then Ferguson Supply sells a lot of brands. They sell to the public.
Okay. All right, if we don't have any other questions, let's see. Thank you guys for the awesome presentation. We appreciate y'all being here. Robert, Thomas, and Luis with A-Star Plumbing. And I feel like I'm ready to take on my own DIY project at my home. So we appreciate you guys coming in and being a part of this with us. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a little bit of a break. All right, we got a little bit of a break. We're gonna take some time. Let's resume. Right now it's 9:42. Let's be back at about 10 o'clock. We're gonna take a little, maybe, what's that, about 17 minutes? So we take a little break. We'll be back at 10 o'clock to resume the second half of our event today. So please just take a little bit, get a little coffee, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, so welcome back everyone to the second half of today's Fix the Leak Week virtual workshop. Up next, we have Mr. Clint Wolf, the founder of Rooted In, co-founder of Rooted In. Mr. Wolf holds over 20 years experience in water and land conservation. He has managed large federal watershed and water quality grants, created and led award-winning education and outreach programs on water use efficiency. Committed to pushing the envelope, Wolf creates novel and effective ways to facilitate adoption of the ecologically sound and practice science-based habits. Having worked within the Texas A&M University system for 22 years, he is adept at creating partnerships and leading large-scale programs and projects. His passions for plants and the efficient use of natural resources has led to a number of award-winning and groundbreaking demonstration garden projects. Most notably, these utilize the most current practical methodologies from environmental horticulture, efficient irrigation system design, and rainwater harvesting technologies. So without further ado, we have Mr. Clint Wolf.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Clint, you live to go.
All right. On my screen, are my slides up?
Your slides should be up. I did just get somebody saying the sound is not on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, well then I will get started. Thank you for the introduction. I am, as Ryan said, Clint Wolf, founder of Rooted In. We are an environmental education consulting, marketing, and design firm based in Dallas, Texas, that focuses on water conservation, both inside the home and outside the home, with a key focus on rainwater harvesting, efficient irrigation, plant selection, and design. So with that, today I wanted to talk a little bit about water conservation in the home, how to stop leaks and save water. So with that, we'll get started. So water in our daily lives. In the US, we're lucky to have access to some of the safest treated drinking water in the world. Just by turning on the tap, we have access to that water. Well, most days at least. We wake up in the morning, we take a shower, brush our teeth, grab a cup of coffee, and head out for the day, not even having to think about where our water comes from. Water is an important part of our daily lives, and we use it for a wide variety of purposes. But do we really understand how much we use? The average American family uses more than 300 gallons of water per day at home. Roughly 70% of this use occurs indoors. Nationally, outdoor water use accounts for 30% of household use, yet can be much higher in drier parts of the country and in more water-intensive landscapes. I know in North Texas, over half of our water in the summer goes to outdoor use, and most of that is for running irrigation systems. So how much water do we use indoors? So this graphic kind of shows you exactly how water is used indoors. So 24% is used by our toilets, 20% for our showers, 19% for our faucets, 17% for our clothes washers, 12% for leaks, and 8% for other. So now we need to understand our own water usage. An easy way to understand individual water use is to look at your water bill. Not just the amount due, but how much water you're actually using. Once you understand how much you use, we can all find ways to save. So let's start by taking a look at the bathroom. Toilets are the main source of water use in the average American home. So learning how to take care for your toilet means real water savings. It can also help you keep your water and sewer bills in check. You can reduce the amount of water used by your home's toilet by checking for leaks at least twice a year, and when possible, upgrading to a high-efficiency toilet. Older, inefficient toilets that use as much as 6 gallons per flush also happen to be a major source of water wasted in many of our homes. So how do we check for leaks? And I think some of the other presenters might have gone over this, but it's worth repeating. So checking for leaks in your toilet tank. Leaking toilets can waste thousands of gallons of water a month, leading to higher water bills and sewer bills. Sometimes toilet leaks are easy to hear, but many times can be silent, making them easy to miss. So here's how to check for leaks. Remove the toilet lid, drop 1 dye tablet that you can usually get from a local water provider, or 10 drops of food coloring into the tank. Put the lid back on the tank and do not flush. Wait for about 20 minutes and then check your toilet bowl. If you see colored water in the tank or in the bowl, you have a leak. If not, you're good to go. Remember to flush the toilet to prevent staining of the coloring in your tank. So what do you do if you find a leak? If you rent, let your landlord know that your toilet leaks right away. If you own your own home, it's likely that you can fix your toilet for about $5 by replacing the flapper valve. And we saw a demonstration of that in the previous presentation. If you don't feel comfortable doing the work yourself, you'll need to hire a plumber to do the work for you, or maybe you can ask a neighbor or a handy friend. Replacing your old toilet with a high efficiency toilet makes total sense. Older toilets can use 1.6, 3.5, 5, or even up to 7 gallons of water with every flush. Replacing an older model toilet with a new high efficiency toilet that uses only 1.28 gallons per flush can greatly decrease your household's total water usage. There are some things to keep in mind. If you decide to upgrade, look for the WaterSense logo. Think of the Energy Star program, but for water efficiency. To earn this label, toilets must meet rigorous criteria and performance measures and use no more than 1.28 gallons per flush. Only high-efficiency toilets that complete the third-party certification process can earn the WaterSense label. You might also be able to find dual-flush toilets that use as low as 0.6 gallons per flush for liquid waste. High-efficiency toilets are widely available at home improvement and plumbing stores and typically cost between $100 and $400 plus installation fees if you're not doing it yourself. The estimated payback time for a high-efficiency toilet typically ranges from half a year to 5 years, depending on the cost of your toilet and your household's annual water and sewer rates. Check your water provider for rebates. Many cities provide rebates for new toilet installations. If you're purchasing or installing a new toilet is not an option, you may still be able to save water by finding and fixing toilet leaks or retrofitting your toilets. What about retrofitting older toilets? In some cases, people can retrofit an older toilet, those using 3.5 gallons or more, so that uses less water each time it flushes. Retrofitting can be accomplished using different methods to reduce the amount of water needed to fill the toilet tank. These methods are not recommended because while they shrink the tank, they do not shrink the bowl, leading to the risk of having to flush twice. So this is typically talked about when people used to say, you know, put a brick into your tank or put a bag of water into your tank to displace the water. We usually don't recommend people doing that. Excuse me. One, because any debris from a rock or from a brick can malfunction parts in the toilet. And also you're actually not filling, you want to fill the bowl and the tank relatively the same amount to prevent flushing twice. But what you can do is, if you can't purchase or install a new toilet, one of the easiest retrofits is installing something called a fill cycle diverter, which is pictured at the top right of your screen. The fill cycle fill cycle diverter is a simple plastic device that diverts more water to the tank and less water to the bowl while it refills. This way, the tank and the bowl finish filling at roughly the same time, and water isn't wasted while one runs water while the other one fills. Once installed, a fill cycle diverter can save about half a gallon of water with each toilet flush. Recent advancements have allowed toilets to use 1.28 gallons per flush or less, while still providing equal or superior performance. This is a 20% less water than the current federal standards of 1.6 gallons per flush. The WaterSense label is used on toilets that are independently certified to meet rigorous criteria for both performance and efficiency. By replacing old toilets, inefficient toilets with WaterSense labeled models, the average family can reduce water used for toilets by 20 to 60%. That's nearly 13,000 gallons of water savings for your home every year. They could also save more than $140 per year on water cost and $2,900 over the lifetime expectancy of the toilet. Household leaks can waste 180 gallons per week. Toilets are often the culprit. If your toilet has a leak, most likely it's due to an old or worn out toilet flapper, which can cause leaks. As was talked about earlier, flappers are inexpensive rubber parts that can build up minerals and decay over time. Replacing them is quick and easy, as you saw in the previous presentation. So now let's talk about showering. Showerheads. Showering is one of the leading ways we use water in the home, accounting for nearly 17% of residential indoor water use for the average family. That adds up to nearly 40 gallons per day. Did you know that the standard showerhead uses 2.5 gallons of water per minute? Water-saving showerheads that earn the WaterSense label must demonstrate that they use no more than 2 gallons per minute. The WaterSense label also ensures that these products provide a satisfactory shower that is equal to or better than conventional showerheads on the market. Switching to WaterSense labeled showerheads, and you will automatically use 20% less water when showering, with no other actions needed. So what about leaks? Of course, you can also take a shorter shower. Cutting just 1 minute from your daily shower excuse me, could save you about 75 gallons a month, or about 300 gallons for a family of 4. Either way, you will use less water. Using less water also means you'll use less energy to heat the water and send less down the drain, thus lowering your energy and sewer costs. You can purchase a new shower head at most home improvement stores for about $15. So what do you do if your shower head leaks? Most leaky shower heads can be fixed by ensuring a tight connection between the shower arm and the shower head. Tighten by using one wrench on the shower arm while using another wrench turning clockwise on the shower head until a snug connection is made. If the shower head still leaks, remove the shower head from the shower arm and wrap 2 to 3 layers of Teflon tape around the threaded end. Excuse me. It's also a good idea to check and see, if needed, to replace the washer or O-ring inside the shower head while making this repair. According to EPA WaterSense, a shower head leaking at 10 drops per minute wastes more than 500 gallons per year. That's enough water to wash 60 loads of dishes in your dishwasher. It should also be noted, if you're replacing a shower head, that you want to make sure not to remove the pressure regulating washer that comes with your new shower head. It's recommended to change your shower head every 10 years, so it's probably time for an upgrade. So how do you install a new shower head? First, remove the old shower head. If you need to use a wrench, remove it, like we mentioned before. Briefly turn on to rinse the pipe, then turn off before going to the next step. Screw on the new shower head and tighten by hand. Test the shower head by running the water. If it leaks, tighten by using one wrench on the shower arm and another on the shower head. Again, using 2 pieces of cloth between the wrench and the fixture to prevent it from scratching. Tighten just until snug. Just remember not to over tighten it. And again, make sure not to remove the pressure regulating washer that comes with your shower head. And also always look for WaterSense labeled products. So some shower facts. The average family could save 2,700 gallons of water a year by installing WaterSense labeled shower heads. Since these water savings will reduce demands on hot water, they will also save energy. In fact, the average family could save more than 330 kilowatt hours of electricity annually, enough to power a home for 11 days by replacing their shower head with a WaterSense labeled one. So now on to the faucet. Most of us know that we can save water if we turn on the tap while brushing our teeth. We can save as much as 3,000 gallons per year. But did you know that there are products that help you save water when you turn the tap on too? WaterSense labeled faucets and faucet aerators, simply known as aerators, are high-performing, water-efficient fixtures that will help you reduce water use in your home and save money on your water bill. WaterSense labeled bathroom sink fixtures and aerators that use a maximum of 1.5 gallons per minute can reduce the sink's water flow by 30% or more from the standard 2.2 gallons per minute without sacrificing performance. Whether replacing an older inefficient faucet that's wasting water and money, or simply looking for options to reduce water use in your home, choose a WaterSense labeled bathroom sink faucet or aerator. WaterSense labeled models are available at a wide variety of price points and a broad range of styles. The next time you brush your teeth or wash your hands, you'll know you're doing your part to help protect our precious water resources. Installing an aerator is pretty simple. It's a small piece of hardware you screw on the tip of your sink's faucet. It can be one of the most cost-effective water conservation measures you can take. Aerators cost about $1 and in most cases take less than a minute to install. Be sure to look for WaterSense label when replacing your aerator or installing a new bathroom faucet. A good tip that I heard earlier was to take your aerator with you to the store if you need to replace it, so that you can find the one that best matches the faucet that you have. Also, a good tip is that these things can sometimes build up with calcium or other deposits from hard water. So sometimes it's good to unscrew that aerator and take a toothbrush and kind of clean that screen out every once in a while if you see a reduction in pressure coming from your faucet. So some faucet facts. Replacing old inefficient faucets and aerators with WaterSense labeled models can save the average family 700 gallons of water per year, equal to the amount of water needed to take 45 showers. That's pretty impressive. Also, since these water savings reduce demands on hot water, households will save enough energy to run a hairdryer for 17 minutes a day for 1 year. Achieving these savings can be as easy as twisting on a WaterSense labeled aerator, as again I said, costs usually less than $1 or $2. Replacing old and inefficient bathroom faucets and aerators with WaterSense labeled models can save the average family 11,000 gallons over the faucet's lifetime. Moving on to the laundry. Some say that clothes make the person. While this may or may not be so, when it comes to selecting what we wash those clothes with, we want to select Energy Star labeled washers. There is not a WaterSense label for washers, but we do want to look for energy labeled washing machines that also can not only save energy, but also save water. Since its start more than 20 years ago, Energy Star has made great strides in bringing more energy and water efficient clothes washers to consumers. In fact, today's Energy Star certified clothes washers use about 70% less energy and 75% less water than a standard washer used 20 years ago. Choosing to purchase an Energy Star certified clothes washer today over a standard washer will ensure that your household uses about 20% less energy and on average about 35% less water when doing laundry. Since the average American family washes about 3 gallons of laundry each year, and doing laundry accounts for about 17% of the water used in a typical home, those savings can add up quickly. If a new Energy Star washer is not affordable right now, you can still conserve significant amounts of energy and water by making sure to run your washer only when it's full and on a cold setting. Following manufacturer's instructions on care and maintenance of your current washer, along with spot treating instead of pre-soaking stained clothes, can also ensure efficient water use and savings. Moving on to the kitchen, the dishwasher. According to the WaterSense program by EPA, the average household does about 215 dishwasher loads per year. Most conventional dishwashers use about 10 gallons per load, while Energy Star qualified models use about 5 gallons of water per load. Running the faucet for 4 minutes can use the same amount of water a dishwasher uses for running its entire cycle. So let your dishwasher do the work. Switching to an Energy Star labeled dishwasher could save you over 1,000 gallons of water each year. So some helpful tips. Again, wash only full loads. Just one particular full load can waste 5 to 10 gallons. One partially full load, can waste 5 to 10 gallons of water. Consider replacing your older dishwasher with an Energy Star labeled dishwasher, and you can save about 5 gallons per load. Be sure to scrape food residue from dishes instead of rinsing. Rinsing can waste 2.5 gallons of water per minute, and most dishwashers or new dishwashers don't require it. If you are washing dishes by hand, be sure to fill your sink or tub with soapy water and only turn the faucet on when rinsing your dishes. It's also a good idea to scrape food residue into the trash and not into your sink and where you're using your garbage disposal. Let's move into talking about household leak detection and how to find those leaks. According to WaterSense, 10% of homes have water leaks and waste 90 gallons or more per day. Taking 20 minutes to check your home for leaks today could save you hundreds up to thousands of gallons of water per year. I typically tell people when the time change, it's a good time to not only change your batteries and your smoke alarm and your irrigation controller, but it's a great idea to check for leaks. So how do we find leaks indoors? So the bathtub and a shower. So you want to check the spout and the shower head for dripping water. A new washer may be all you need. You may be able to do this but repair yourself by unscrewing the faucet or replacing the washer with the same size. But before doing this repair, it's a good idea to shut off your home's main shutoff valve. During the recent ice storm, a lot of people got familiar with knowing where their home's main shutoff valve is. You can also tell if your sink or your bathtub is leaking a lot of times because you might get a buildup of hard water on your bathtub faucet. So you can check that to see if you're not actually seeing a faucet drip. You can also tell that you might have splattering or discoloration on the drain, or you might even have cracking of the porcelain. That could be an indication that you have a leak in your bathroom faucet. Sometimes also whenever you're switching from running a bath to converting it to run the shower head, a lot of times, sometimes that valve in the wall can become loose or malfunction. and sometimes you'll have leaking from the actual shower head once you turn that off. And so that's something that you probably want to consult and hire a licensed plumber to come in and look at for you. Something that's probably not a DIY fix, but always in which you can look at and tell if you have a leak in your shower or in your shower head. So toilets, as we talked about before, your toilets may have a silent leak, or your toilet may be sporadically running without flushing. So like we talked about before, drop a little food coloring in the tank, wait about 20 minutes without flushing. If color appears in the bowl, you have a leak, and you'll want to repair that by replacing the flapper valve. The dishwasher. The dishwasher can, when you're looking at your dishwasher, if water is accumulated on the floor near the unit, that could be a sign that you have a leak. That also runs all the way back to underneath your kitchen faucet. And if your underneath your kitchen sink is anything like mine, it's kind of like the junk drawer in your home. No telling how things get stuck under there. So I always tell people to put a drip pen underneath their kitchen sink. That way it doesn't cause any damage. If you do have a leak, it's not going to damage your cabinets or ruin or get anything wet, like any cleaning supplies or anything you have stored underneath your kitchen sink. You also could actually have leaks if you have a spray handle that is either part of your faucet or a separate unit. Sometimes you can get leaks from those units as well. So just make sure all those components are tight and not leaking. Also, your refrigerator ice making unit. A leak in the ice maker unit will cause excessive accumulation of ice in the freezer and may produce small puddles of water underneath the refrigerator. So checking behind your refrigerator if you have an ice maker for leaks in that line as well. Sinks and other faucets. Check for slower leaks by noting wetness in your sink's basin. Make sure to look at every faucet in your home, even those that are rarely used, especially in the bathroom. I know that's where underneath our bathroom sink is where my wife's hair products go to die. So push all those out of the way and make sure you have no leaks underneath from your sinks and your faucets in those locations as well. You also want to check your hot water tank. The pressure valve release could be stuck. This valve is most often found near the top of the tank and is usually a large brass fitting threaded to the tank. If it's not working properly, water will be leaking from that juncture, dripping down the side of the tank and accumulating on the floor. If you have a hot water heater that's going out and it's dripping into a pan, you might notice that the pan is filling up with water. And so you want to check that as well. Washing machines. If you see water on the floor near the machine, it's a sign of a possible leak. You want to check to make sure that not only that the hot water and cold water hoses are tightened properly so that you're not leaking in that area, but you also want to make sure that the hose that goes into the drain is actually into the drain as well. Sometimes it's not a leaking valve, but it's a drain hose that's either come out of the hole or is leaking onto the ground as well. So make sure to get behind your washing machine and check for those leaks as well. If you have a water softener, a leak could be caused if your water softener is not recycling properly. The cycling process is regulated by a timer, and it often occurs between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning when we're asleep. So you're likely to have a leak in this unit if you hear the sound of constantly running water. So be sure to check your water softener as well. So moving on, let's talk about 10 ways that we can save water indoors. Number 1, so we can replace, like we said, an older toilet with a WaterSense labeled high efficiency toilet. Older toilets can use up to 4 times more water per flush. Plus, many water providers offer rebates, so it's a no-brainer to pony up and get an upgrade onto your new high-efficiency toilet. Number 2, regularly check for repairs and water leaks. Like we just went over, it's a good idea twice a year to walk around your house and check for all of those places that you could have leaks. Even small leaks can waste hundreds of thousands of gallons of water a month. Many water leaks can be fixed by a do-it-yourself plumber, and repair parts are relatively inexpensive to purchase, usually between $1 and $20. And so it's a good idea to check for those leaks and get them repaired. Number 3, take shorter showers. Each minute you shave off your shower time saves up to 2.5 gallons of water. If you're taking baths, I know a lot of kids like to take baths. Just do not, what I tell people is just don't fill the bath all the way up. So get in just enough for the child to take a shower, not to go swimming, and you'll be doing your part to save water as well. It should be noted, bathtubs can use anywhere from 20 to 80 to 120 gallons of water when full, especially large jetted tubs. So you're using quite an amount of water by filling those reservoirs to take a bath. When I first met my wife, she used to run the bath while the drain was open because she didn't want the water to get cold. And I told her if we were going to get married, she had to stop that. So she has. Water waster. Tip number 4, install an aerator on your bathroom and kitchen faucet and save about 1 gallon per minute. An aerator reduces the flow from the faucet and uses air to maintain good water pressure. You might have noticed that we didn't talk about kitchen faucets when we talked about WaterSense labeled fixtures. So the kitchen faucet, you can install aerators, but there is not a WaterSense label for kitchen faucets typically because they don't want it to take longer to fill a pot or to do standard household items in the kitchen. Number 5, select an Energy Star approved clothes washer. Next time you purchase a new washer, Energy Star clothes washers use about 15 to 20% less gallons per load, and you will see a huge savings and energy on your water bill and your electric bill. Number 6, install a high efficiency shower head. You can save about 1 gallon per water per minute by installing a high efficiency shower head. And limit just 1 shower head per shower. In times of drought, California usually says, shower with a friend too. You can save water that way. Tip number 7, know where your master shutoff valve is located. This could save you water and prevent damage to your home. Number 8, wash only full loads of water. Wash only full loads. Dishwashers use about the same amount of energy and water regardless of the number of dishes inside. So run full loads whenever possible. Tip number 9, turn the sink faucet on only to rinse or use a large container to fill with rinse water when washing dishes by hand. You can save about 2.5 gallons of water for every minute your faucet does not run. So just like we teach kids to turn off the faucet when they're brushing their teeth, or men should turn off the faucet while they're shaving, it really does save and add up to considerable water savings. Tip number 10, scrape instead of pre-rinse. Save yourself up to 20 gallons of water by scraping food off your dishes instead of pre-rinsing them. As we said earlier, Energy Star qualified dishwashers and today's detergents are designed to do the cleaning for you, so you don't have to. If your dirty dishes sit overnight, use a dishwasher rinse feature. It uses a fraction of the water needed to hand rinse. So remember, stop leaks and save water. And with that, I will take any questions.
Right, thank you, Ted. Let's look at some of these questions again. All right, since replacing fixtures throughout a house with WaterSense ones can be costly, is there a resource credit folks can get on their taxes for doing that?
I am not sure if there is a credit on your taxes for implementing WaterSense appliances or fixtures. I know there were at one time some tax credits for energy. but I don't believe there are for water at this time. But most large municipalities offer some kind of rebate for these fixtures. And they also, some of them are very inexpensive too. So a toilet, I know you can get a WaterSense labeled toilet for under $100. Aerators are, probably under $5 at most. And faucets are relative. You can find relatively inexpensive WaterSense labeled faucets as well for probably under $10. So just do some shopping around, and a lot of times they will have sales. I know a lot of the big box stores will have sales for WaterSense labeled products different times of the year on promotion. So when they do that, that's a great time to not only buy them, but contact your water provider to see if they offer rebates as well.
All right. Thanks, Clint. I got another question for you. On one of the slides, the one about retrofits, it stated, do not use tank displacement options. We should not put something in the tank so it registers as full with less water. Is this only for newer low flow toilets or all toilets, including older models?
So that's typically for older model toilets. So typically what we taught years ago is that, people would put a brick. So if you had a 5-gallon, toilet, or a 7-gallon toilet, or even a 3.5-gallon toilet, you would put a brick, or you would put a bag of water or something into the tank. The reason we don't want anything like a brick or something like that is that can corrode over time. And so you don't want anything that can, corrode or interfere with the functioning parts of your toilet. Just like you don't want to use anything like a detergent or any kind of, those freshen sticks or anything like that. You don't want to put anything like that into the tank itself, because that can mess with and corrode the plastic components, or even some of the metal components like the chain in your toilet tank. So really the only thing you want in your toilet tank is water itself, nothing else. And so you want to refrain from using that. You also, because of the fact that you want the bowl and the tank to fill at the same rate. And so if you're displacing the water in the tank, then the bowl is not getting enough water. And so if the bowl does not get enough water, that's what typically causes a shallow flush. And so typically that will cause you to have to flush twice. And so that's why we typically do not tell people to put water displacing things into the tank, because it usually causes them to flush twice and uses, more water than it would be to not have that device in the tank itself. Does that make sense?
All right, that sounds great, Clint. Let's see if we have any other questions. We do have a couple of comments. Yes, this event will be able to be seen later, and we will have a survey at the end of where we're going to put the link for the survey in the question and answer a little later on, and so that you can give us your feedback on our program today. But let's see, if there aren't any other questions, thanks, Clint. Appreciate you being here for the awesome presentation. There's a lot to look out for inside the home, and sharing this information helps us become better at spotting these issues early. So greatly appreciate you. And let's move on to our next speakers. We have John and Alex with Nick's Plumbing and Air Conditioning. They have been providing the Houston area and surrounding communities with only the best professional plumbing and HVAC services since 1979. They're celebrating 42 years in business. So, without further ado, the guys from Nick's Plumbing.
Right here, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm John. This is Alex with Nick's Plumbing and Air Conditioning. So it's kind of funny the topic that we chose, especially that this whole Leaks Week was presented prior to what we're on the tail end of, the flooding. I'm sorry, not the flooding, the freezing of Houston in the past couple of weeks. So what we're going to be talking about is a device that you can use and that you can have installed on your plumbing system that can help with leaks, severe, small, all that kind of things, and give the homeowner itself a lot of information that they would like to have to help monitor their water system. So first, let's start off with this. When you're talking about water leaks inside of a home, it never happens at a good time, right? As a lot of us can attest to here recently, it always happens at the worst time, right? You're either not prepared, you run out, you go on vacation, you come back, and a busted pipe has created all sorts of mayhem inside of your home. It never happens whenever you walk out, check the mail, and you come back and you see it, and you can navigate, and minimize losses at a very small. It just doesn't happen that way. So water leaks inside of a home is the #1 insurance claim for homeowners, right? It's not only the #1, it's also one of the most expensive per average, right? Those claims, according to our research, average about $10,000 a claim. That's pretty hefty for an insurance company to swallow. So it's not a small feat, right? So it's one of these things that really take a toll on your home when it does happen. And it doesn't just damage your plumbing, right? I know that's where it starts, the water pipes and stuff of that nature, but it doesn't just damage the plumbing and the plumbing fixtures. So many other things are affected by this water, again, as we can definitely call out to because of the freeze. People have seen damaged drywall, damaged cabinets, flooring, structural beams, all these things. And if it's not a large leak like those, let's just say it's a smaller leak, even a small leak can create other unwanted things to happen, right? Small leaks create actually critter problems, right? There's critters that love water, and when there's a small leak that is not detected and it continues to run, you have bugs, insects, again, unwanted critters that sense that water and they come to it. That creates a whole nother mess for a homeowner other than just the plumbing aspect of it. Then you have damp wood that continues to stay wet, and if you're not aware of it, what ends up happening, you get mold growth. Nobody likes that word. It's a naughty 4-letter word that no one likes to say because it's a bad thing, right? And as it continues to grow, it creates more and more issues. But all of this, again, starts with water in the plumbing system. So the other, going into that, the other hard thing about this is sometimes those leaks aren't even all visible, at least not to begin with. It could be a small leak behind the wall, underneath the cabinet. It could be your toilet flange and wax ring are not properly sealed anymore, and you're getting some sort of leak coming from under there that's going underneath the floor that you're not aware of for months. All these things transition into water waste, right? That can just create just a layer of different things for our homeowners. And as we've seen from the freeze, right, copper, galvanized, CPVC, all the types of pipings that we're used to seeing, except for the newer type of PEX piping, were all affected greatly due to that. Now, of course, it doesn't just take a freeze to do that. A lot of those pipings are coated internally with something that'll keep the water from damaging it and keeping it from being eaten away. But the hard water here in Houston, as it continues, over years and years and years, those coatings get eaten away. Then it starts to decay the pipe from the inside out, weakening the pipe. Eventually, you're going to spring a leak regardless. But, those are the things that can happen with an interior leak, and those are the damages, and they're all real. And like I said, and I keep pointing back to this, but it's just all too relative right now that thousands and thousands of people have seen the effects of this. With that being said, the best way that us at Nick's Plumbing can say that you can help yourself from having a catastrophic water leak of this nature is to have a device installed that we surely believe in. And there's dozens of these devices around, but the one that we particularly enjoy and the one that we know and the one that we believe in is Flow by Moen. It's a water leak detection system that is astounding. It gets put in on your main water supply, right? And it plugs in the power, and it is basically a mini computer for your water system. It's going to detect tons and tons of things, right? It'll most popularly the flow rate coming into the home, the water temperature, the pressure, right? And it takes those things, and what it does is when we first install it, it's a learning computer on your water system. I know that's crazy to think. Where's the world going, right? I mean, we got things learning about everything that we're doing. Me and Alexa knows exactly what I need to order from the store. Now we got something telling me about my water, but it's actually really good for this case. When you go to put this thing on, for the first little bit, it's going to learn you. Just like I believe there's a thermostat that does that with air conditioning, right?
Absolutely, yeah, plenty.
Yeah, so it's going to learn what you do, how you use your water, when you're using your water. It's got a Wi-Fi app that whenever it starts sensing things that are out of the ordinary, it'll give you alerts, and you'll tell it kind of, yes, this is okay, no, it's not. Now, if it senses, obviously, the main part of this thing is that if it senses anything dire, right, if there's a huge influx of water use when it shouldn't be, it has a control that'll automatically shut the water off to the home. So hence, we just went through the flood again. You had a busted pipe and water's being used when it shouldn't be, this system would have shut off, right? Prior to any, of course, there'll be some damage, but it would minimize. It would definitely minimize the damage that you're seeing in your home. If you get the alert that, hey, such and such is not regular, you know, Mrs. Smith doesn't use water at 2 a.m., but we got water being used at 2 a.m. This thing is so sophisticated, it'll learn per fixture, right, what is being used and what should be being used and what is out of the ordinary and what is not. Now, the cool thing about it is as it learns, right, it doesn't just, oh, we think we got a water leak, it shuts the water off. It doesn't do that. As it learns, it'll send you a notification first, unless, again, catastrophic. The system has been around for, I think now, 4 or 5 years. I could be off on that, but they've actually have already made some cool additions. They have now detection sensors that you can add on to it. So if you know it's a area of the home that has a high probability of leak, the water heater, underneath your commodes, underneath your sink, and once it detects that water, it'll send an immediate alert to you, letting you know that, hey, water's detected, moisture's detected. Would you like to shut off, or would you like for it to continue to go, depending on how much of that moisture and wetness it's detecting, which I thought was really neat. So those systems, right, as expensive as they may be or not may be, they're definitely cheaper than the thousands of dollars that the insurance claim is going to be. And let's all be realistic. Insurance is going to cover it, whether it's out of pocket or not. If insurance covers it, your rates are going to go up. So you're going to be paying for it one way or the other. So just like any problem, heading it off at the beginning is definitely a much safer and better choice to do than waiting and taking care of it on a proactive approach. One, you have the headache of putting your house back together, which no one likes to do unless you're ready for a remodel, but that's a really crazy way to go about it. You know, nobody wants to go through that. You know, a lot of people were displaced. They were without water because of the how busy the plumbing industry has been. We still have people today without water that we're still trying to get to. So with a product like this, you know, especially mowing, the one that we like, or Flow, I'm sorry, by mowing, it is it's something that we believe in, and it's something that would easily reduce the amount of damage and the amount of things that would have happened in this certain situation. In everyday life, right? These small leaks that pop up, you know, it happens all the time. I mean, it's happened to me. You know, went on a weekend trip, come back, a supply line had busted. Well, there's a bathroom and a hallway that, you know, had to have baseboards, carpet, and all that taken care of. If this product would have been installed, it would have sent me a notification straight to my phone. I would have said, uh-oh, something's going on. I would have hit a button, it would have shut it off, if it wouldn't have shut off by itself. You know, it's a product that is definitely cutting edge, and they're making improvements to it every day. They used to charge for the Wi-Fi service, right, with all the advanced data points. They no longer do that. It's 100% free. So whenever you're getting this, you're getting a complete comprehensive look at your water system. You know, one thing that we don't really talk a lot about is with that, you'll be able to monitor your usage, right? You have a teenage son that's taking too long in the shower. Well, you can monitor that and show him. And there's a video that they actually have on their website of a dad shutting the water off on a teenager saying that they're taking too long, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a really good thing to have, especially if you're talking about you're wanting to control that part of your home And when something like, this happens, or again, it doesn't have to be necessarily a freeze. We talked about the water pipes in Houston. There's, thousands of homes in Houston that are still piped and galvanized, which that pipe is 70 years old, and it was slated to be only good for 50 years. So it's on an end of a lifespan that eventually will leak, right? It's just going to happen. So when that happens, if you have something like this in place, it's going to help you, once again, minimize any sort of damage, loss of water, any of those things, right? It's just one of those things that with technology comes a lot of times safety, and this is something that we really believe will help be more of a safe thing for your home in the future. But again, if maybe not flow, but one of these detection systems is almost a must these days with everything that's going on in our world, right? People are so busy, they're traveling, they're going. Sometimes they don't have time to understand or see what's going on in their home. And to have a piece of plumbing technology on your system that can tell you those things and basically, this isn't the best term, but dummy it down for people that might not know, right? And save them some heartache. I would definitely say it's worth, at least doing some research and possibly having one installed. Yeah, but the majority of the plumbing that we go to, if it's caught early, those fixes are easy. It's just like anything with your car, right? Everybody's heard the old cliche, when your brakes start squealing, get them done then, because if not only is it the brake pads, but it's the rotors and everything else. It balloons. Same thing in plumbing. You catch it early, it's small, it's inexpensive. You don't catch it early, it turns into this big cloud of, that nobody wants to deal with, because it's stressful. It's a stressful time, and nobody wants that, right? And this product, we believe that will keep that out of your life, right? It's a stress-free product. So that's our spiel on the flow by mowing. We think that if you don't have one, do some research on it. If you're curious about it, you can call the office and talk to us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. We'll answer some questions here, but if we don't get to anything and you want more information on it, their website, our website, you can call us direct. You can have us come out and do an in-home consultation, any of those things to get you the information that you need to make a good decision, right? Do you have anything else, Alex?
Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit to that. One common misconception that people have a lot of times in places like Houston or in Texas in general is that they don't need to have a perfectly good working furnace, because let's face it, we live in a climate where it's 100+ degrees during the summertime. Well, reality has it that realistically, during the freeze, a lot of people did have electricity. However, they did not have a working furnace. So that definitely contributes to broken pipes and just a lot more issues. So there's definitely something to be said about that, and just to bring awareness, how important heating really is. They say heating is an absolute necessity. Air conditioning is an accessory. So you definitely want to go ahead and check it, make sure that everything's okay, make sure that your heating works, because you never know, when bad times can roll around, just like Uri, things happen.
Excellent. Okay. Well, with that being said, if you have any questions around the flow by mowing, anything that we spoke about, or anything that Alex spoke about the furnaces, please go ahead and type them in, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Right. I have a question, guys.
Yep.
So with the freeze and a lot of pipes bursting, like if you have a burst pipe in your house and it's leaking water, what's the first thing you would suggest to do? You can't get somebody out right away. First
thing you want to do is get the water shut off to the home and drain the system, right? Now here's the thing, some people don't know where that's at. There's a main water riser that goes into almost every home. If you don't know where that's at, now would be the prime time to understand where that shut off is. That's the easiest place to go. You shut that off, turn on some tubs, because they're high volume, that drains the system really quick, takes pressure off. If you don't know where those things are, then you're going to have to go to your water meter and shut it off, right? Which is, it's basically a 180 turn valve on the back side of the meter. Same thing. Once you get it off, you're opening as many fixtures as you can to drain that system to minimize and take that pressure off the pipe.
If you know it's a freeze coming, and you know that the temperatures are going to get below freezing, and you have older pipes in the home, would you recommend anything prior to that type of situation?
Yeah, so prior to this freeze, and it's kind of funny that you asked that. So Up until this freeze, I would tell you that what we suggest was a light stream of water being ran, right? Moving water is hard to freeze. This is an old thing that I've done forever. I have no scientific data behind this. I like to open up the cabinets on exterior walls so that the heat from my furnace gets in there and keeps those pipes as warm as possible. There's no scientific data that helps, but I believe it does. Going back to this particular freeze, you're talking about temperatures that were record setting, right? I don't know, other than completely shutting down and draining your system, if you would have been completely safe, right? When we're talking 9 degrees, especially in Houston, Texas, where we're not designed to have that happen, that probably would have been the safe all, right? Would have been, hey, let's shut the water off to the home, let's drain everything, and let's face it, being without water for 2 days of freezing is a lot better than now 1 month without water, right? So knowing when it got that cold, that if it ever got that cold again, that's the strong recommendation I'd make to my customers, is to shut it completely down. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. What time is it? So I know which ones are active. Okay, how much does it typically cost to install a flow by mowing by a certified plumber? That it's going to differentiate. There's some different factors, right? It's going to be which system you want, what size your water line is, because everybody's water line is going to be from 3/4 to 1 1/4 is what they sell, and then determining what kind of detectors that you want. So on reality, ballparking, you're going to be somewhere in the 800 to probably 1,200 range, right? And it can go up or down depending. Again, a lot cheaper than any deductible and a lot less headache than any deductible versus out-of-pocket expenditures that we've all seen. But that's a kind of a good ballpark for those. Let's see, another one. What is the name of the leak detection device that can be installed at your home? That's the Flow by Mowing. There are other smart water sensors that you can install for your home. What makes Flow by Mowing better than the others? Will Flow catch an irrigation outdoor leak or just indoor leak? It depends on where that Flow is installed, okay? The reason why we went with Flow, we feel that it's a leader in the market. There's other ones out there, and I'm sure they're just as good. And if a customer definitely wanted one of those, we would install it for them. We feel that Flow by Mowing was a little bit ahead of everybody else, especially with their features. That's why we back them. And they have continuously catapulted their product, right? That they haven't set back and just, I mean, they're continually making upgrades. They're doing things that are really pulling this thing to the customer's face so that they can easily interface with this product. And we just felt that it was the best choice for our customers. With that being said, if it is installed prior to the irrigation or outdoor line, then yes, it would be able to tell. But it has to be on the inside, preface to that. If it's normally installed after that, it's going to bypass those items, so it would miss them. Now, can you install it back there? Yes, but it does need power. You know, and I'm sure that I might get this question, so I'll go ahead and address it. It needs power to run, right? They do sell a battery backup in case we do lose power. Could it still shut down? It can be manually turned off in case you do lose power. If you lose Wi-Fi, it still has an internal computer with X amount of data space that it will still collect information. So if it has power and loses Wi-Fi, it can still operate fine. But if it loses power, it will not operate to its full effect. You would literally have to go and manually shut it down, right? Because without the power. So when you're asking about the outdoor leak, the biggest concern is going to be the power, getting the power to it, because most people, their water lines, if you're wanting it on the inside, in the inlet of your main water line for the yard, you're talking it's going to be out by the meter, which would, you know, depending on footage, it's just getting power out there to it would be the question, or would be the solution. Says that there are different models of mowing devices online. What is the current version? Are there significant differences between the newer and older models, making it safer to buy a newer one? To speak on the exact differences, I can't go into that because I'm not ready for it. But I would tell you this: when you're talking about technology, newer is always better, right? There's going to be some feature that it's going to have that the previous one didn't. I would do research and make sure, you know, what benefit does it have versus cost. I don't think that the cost difference is that much difference in the older versions versus the newer. And I know that the older ones are obviously being discontinued as it gets older. They're going to a newer platform that has, you know, probably just like a cell phone. The processing's a little bit better. The connection's a little better. The Wi-Fi capability is probably a little stronger. The computer reads a little quicker. All those different things. So newer is always better when you're talking about technology. If I turn off the water to my house, do I need to turn off the water heater? You don't have to. We suggest it. You know, you don't have to, but we suggest it. You can leave it on. It'll be heating the hot water, you know, as you use it. When the freeze was coming, we told our customers, hey, let's shut off the water. You want to shut off the cold water going into the water heater because it's not going to be working anyway because your water's going to be off. But it was just one less thing that when everything happened that had a chance of going wrong. So we recommended it, but it's not a necessity. Again, normal freezes in Houston, I don't think that you would need to. 9-degree, 100-year winter, yes, it might not be a bad idea. Okay. Did I miss one? Let me make sure that I got everybody. I'm sorry. I think I got them all. I guess we'll give it a few seconds to see if anybody else has a question. But again, this is a product that's revolutionary, man. If you haven't had a chance, they have some cool videos to really watch on their website. It's pretty neat. You know, you're talking about something that is taking control of something that we used to not be able to get that information until we got our monthly bill. Now you're able to get that information on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute basis if you wanted it, right? And that's you know, that's a pretty neat thing. Yes,
I got
sir.
a question. So we got viewers from all over the U.S. right now. Where are you guys located, and what areas do y'all primarily service?
Okay, we're located in Houston, Texas. We service from Conroe down to the Friendswood area, down 45. We go a little further south. We're not a direct circle, and then we go from Katy all the way out to Baytown. So it's the Houston metropolitan surrounding area. You know, when the freeze came, we even tried to help out some people that are normally outside of our service area just because they couldn't find anybody. We can't always do that, but you know, we were trying to help everybody, and that was the best bet. But our normal thing is the Houston metropolitan surrounding area. And who knows, you know, as we continue to grow, we might, you know, obviously we'll expand that. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, our number is 713-868-9907. Just call and ask for John or Alex, and we'll be, oh, I just had one pop up. Many water utilities now offer interval data on water usage using AMI fixed networks. Okay. Excellent. Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, and you can check out our website, nixplumbing.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you guys for being a part of our program, and great information. If you're ever in the Houston area and you need assistance with plumbing, whether it's commercial, residential, HVAC, just give those guys a call. So thank y'all for being here, and we're almost at the end of our program today. But before we go, I have a few announcements to make. Let's go to our Fort Worth information slide, please. All right. Fort Worth Water Conservation offers a comprehensive program to address indoor and outdoor water conservation. Our water conservation plan, updated every 5 years, sets conservation goals for residential daily use and per capita daily use. We have recently added a new website information on continuous usage detection and irrigation calculator tool to help customers understand the water saving and cost impacts of leaks in outdoor water use. Our program includes long-running residential and commercial toilet replacement programs, free sprinkler system evaluations, water audits for business customers, and our new minor leak repair program for low-income homeowners. We partnered with regional conservation partners this year to offer 24 virtual and/or in-person classes and workshops to help our customers better understand the value of saving water while maintaining beauty in their outdoor spaces. All of this information is available at savefortworthwater.org and our social media channels in English and Spanish. We're so grateful to have Fort Worth as a partner, and we've learned so much from the great work they are doing. Here in Houston, we have some exciting programs, but before I get to that, let's go to the city of Dallas. All right, City of Dallas Water Conservation offers a menu of incentive-based programs and education and outreach initiatives aimed at raising awareness about the importance of conserving water and providing resources that promote efficient water use practices. Two programs that we want to highlight today are the minor plumbing repair program, which helps the City of Dallas residents address minor leaks in their homes, and the free irrigation system evaluation program, which provides City of Dallas residents a free audit of their irrigation system to identify leaks, broken sprinkler heads, and other issues like irrigation runoff. Residents also receive information on more efficient ways to water their lawns. In addition to their other outreach and education initiatives, they offer free year-round water-wise seminars and workshops in collaboration with Rooted In. Our next virtual seminar is about foodscaping, which is scheduled for Saturday, April 17th at 10 a.m. They're also partnered with Rooted In to promote their Go and Grow boxed gardens. These boxed gardens take the guesswork out of finding the right plant for the right spot with perfect water-saving plant combinations. You can pre-order now through April 5th or until supplies last. City of Dallas Water Conservation is hosting one of 5 pickup locations around Dallas-Fort Worth on April 10th from 8 to 11 a.m. All right, so City of Houston, first off, we have our rain barrel sale coming up on May 25th, 2021. We will be selling 50-gallon Ivy rain barrels at a 40% discounted price of $72 to anyone interested in purchasing a rain barrel, and at even further reduced rate of $52 to Houston Water customers while supplies last. Visit rainbarrelprogram.org/Houston to learn more and purchase your barrel. We will also put the link in the Q&A of this event. Here at Houston Water, we not only maintain Houston's drinking system, but its wastewater system as well. Next slide, please. Like many large cities, Houston experiences sewer overflows, which is a backup of wastewater into our streets and homes. These overflows are caused by blocks in our pipes, and most often from household cooking grease rinsed down the drains and wipes that are flushed down toilets. As a resident in any city, you can do your part to prevent sewer overflows by pouring or scraping all cooking oil waste into the trash, never in the drain. By only flushing pee, poop, and toilet paper down the toilet, please visit protectourpipes.org for more information. Finally, we have included a link to a program survey in the question and answer of this event. We're going to get that survey popped up for you guys. This survey includes both days. So if you're planning on attending Thursday's workshop as well as today, we ask that you complete it then. We have a limited number of WaterSense labeled products and additional tools for conservation to give away to survey respondents. So it's going to be a limited number of giveaways that we have. So you definitely want to fill out that survey. We want to thank all of our speakers today. Mrs. Beth Livingston with the Environmental Protection Agency, Robert Revias, Thomas Penny, and Louis Cavillo with the City of Dallas and A-Star Plumbing, Mr. Clint Wolf, co-founder of Rooted In, and Mr. John Eccles and Alex Zarhal, at Nick's Plumbing. We look forward to you joining this Thursday, March 18th, 2021 at 9 a.m. for the Fix a Leak Week virtual workshop, Day 2, Outdoor Irrigation Leaks and Cold Weather Pipe Protection. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna, like I said, let's see if we can get this. All right. So yeah, see you guys on the next one, and we look forward to having you at our next event. Thank you. See if we can get the link. How can I register for the Thursday course? Let me see if we can get the link for. All right, so we have the link for the survey. Well, we want to see if we can get the link for registering.
I shared it.
I'm sorry.
I shared it.
The link for the Thursday class?
I just did, yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah, very much. Everybody, Sarah Robinson is working behind the scenes for us. She's been helping us with the slides. She's been fantastic and awesome on our team for the city of Houston. So we shared all of that. We're just going to keep it open for a little bit so you guys will have time to look at those links and not only fill out the survey if you're not planning on attending Thursday's event, but to get registered for the next event, which is this Thursday coming up. So awesome. We're just keeping it open for a little longer so you guys get the opportunity to click on those links. Make sure you look in the live question and answer area to find the survey links and to find the registration for Thursday. Also want to give thanks to the city of Dallas, Megan Tufan, and her team. They've been great to work with. Becky Begley in the city of Fort Worth has been phenomenal to work with. We love partnerships, and this partnership has been great, and we look forward to partnering with them on future events. But it's been a fantastic experience so far, and can't wait for Thursday. We got a stellar lineup of speakers for Thursday's event. To get a little more into the, I kind of spoiled it a little bit asking the questions about the cold weather pipe protection, but you know, we'll have more information on that, and we'll talk more about outdoor irrigation leaks and how you can remedy those issues. So, Sarah, you have anything else?
Not at the moment. Nope, you've covered everything, Ryan.
All right. Well, I think we've had enough time. Does everybody click the links? If you guys don't need any more time, we're going to go ahead and bid you farewell until Thursday at 9 a.m. We look forward to seeing you then. Take care.